Okay, so today I've got a shocking video for you.
This is way. Oh, there it is.
I got invited to go to Defyage and try out their Wonder Suit. It's basically a suit that puts electric signaling directly to the muscle for involuntary contraction. Now, the amazing thing about this is it gets your muscle to contract harder than you neurologically can. So if you flex your muscles as hard as you physically can, you can only go so far. This will make you contract harder.
Well, it's electricity just going straight into the muscle. So it's an involuntary contraction. We're probably going to do in 25 minutes today about 52,000 muscle contractions across your body. So a significant volume. Everyone's involuntary. So as we continue to press these buttons,
Way, there you go.
you'll see that you have no control over what I'm doing right here, right now. So it is automatically having your muscles react to the
That kind of
current.
ramps, doesn't it?
Now, this whole thing has different programs. They've got programs called the Superman, which is 6 seconds of intense contraction with 2 seconds rest. And they've got muscular, which is 8 seconds of contraction with 4-second rest. They put you on different programs depending on what goal you're going for.
We can do everything from build muscle through to treat cellulite, through to pelvic floor. So people that may have issues with incontinence, we can work on the 5 muscles of the pelvic floor.
Yeah.
A specific program here that works on that to help strengthen that part of the body as well.
Wow, that's fantastic. And obviously with the concentric is the effort in a movement. So theoretically, if I could flex, because I would almost say that you'd probably be able to ramp this one up to way harder than you could flex naturally.
Absolutely.
Right? So theoretically, and I don't know if I'll be right by saying this, if you did this often enough, you might well get the neural pathways or the ability to flex harder within the muscle mentally.
Yep.
Possibly?
Yeah, possibly.
Because then if you're used to a more harder concentric contraction, obviously that will help you in concentric movements. So you'd be able to push harder, pull heavier, yada, yada, yada.
The cool thing about this is no stress on joints. So I think it's particularly amazing for, say, if you've got a joint problem or an injury. Say you've got an elbow injury and you want to keep your triceps stimulated to stop atrophy, or maybe you're a strength athlete and you'll go through a temporary rehabilitation. Fantastic for that. Or someone like me, you just want to push your strength, push your performance, and you're looking for something a bit nuanced that'd be pretty cool to add to your training program.
The muscle that you can develop is the one that you can get a contraction with. You know, anyone doesn't have a really big developed muscle in something they can't contract, right? So if you've got underdeveloped muscles, generally speaking, you're not very good at having that neurological contraction with that muscle.
Correct.
So this could help with that.
Absolutely.
That's fantastic.
Absolutely.
The really good thing about this, it does pelvic floor as well. There's an actual setting for that. So if you've had children, you can go on there and stimulate the pelvic floor, because let's face it, that is a muscle that is boring to work out. So not many people keep that up. So by training the pelvic floor, it can help. Say if you had children, skipping becomes a problem, running, or you know, you know what I'm saying. Kegels are so powerful. My wife's had 4 children, and she's corrected her pelvic floor through Kegels, but it takes a lot of discipline. It's not nice to do. This could be a possible other alternative that'd be debatably better, because your pelvic floor fatigues really, really quickly. This holds a permanent involuntary contraction for way longer than you could yourself.
Let's take an elbow injury. Someone that's an athlete and needs to, in any kind of strength athlete or even plyometric, boxing, anything like this, they've got an elbow injury, for example, they could do this on a rehabilitation stage, so they don't have to keep re-aggravating that injury, but they still keep the muscular activation, stopping atrophy.
Yeah, correct. Absolutely.
Since doing this, my first workout back was crazy. It felt super, super easy, and I've put it down to my muscles were used to contracting so much harder that even though I was lifting a heavier weight, it wasn't as hard a contraction of what it was doing previously before. So it's like if you ran around the block and that was hard for you, then you run a marathon, you come back to that block and it's easier again. So although I was lifting heavy, I think the tolerance was a lot higher.
Be interesting to see how it's going to get implemented, such as people in comas, you know, massive severe atrophy from that, You know, if there's some way of doing a low level, longer duration stimulus of this to stop massive atrophy, you know, if someone's in bed in a coma for months at a time, they wake up, all their muscles atrophied.
Oh, I'm sure there's medical professionals out there that are
Interesting.
either doing that now or considering that at least. Absolutely.
So me personally, what I'm going to do is do it at least once a week for the next 10 weeks and see how my strength improves. So I've got a bit of anecdotal experience of what it does for me. So Defyage, I'm impressed, and I'll be back this weekend.
Yeah. This is good. Yeah, if you got any light bulbs, you'd have put on my head.